Hi everyone, it's Megan Blinka, and I want to take a few minutes to talk to you guys about a podcast that I listened to earlier today about blogging. It was by Michael Hyatt, and he has a full podcast out there. You can download it. But the one that I listened to was about the top 10 blogger tips. So I know there's a lot of you who write blogs and are using your blog to build your business. I know I personally have built a lot of my team, and my challengers have come from my blog. So I value what this guy shared, and I just wanted to kind of pass it along to you. I'll also share where the information came from in case you want to listen to the full podcast. But in the meantime, until you have the time to listen to that, I wanted to share his top 10 tips. So number one is write content worth sharing. So it's kind of like when you sit down to write a Facebook post and you think, how can this add value to somebody else? You want to do the same thing with your blog posts. Like, what would somebody share? Because when people start sharing things, they start getting, your name starts circulating and getting out there a little bit more. So, for instance, I really built my blog around two main things. One was my fitness journey, because that was applying more to directly what I was doing, people who are interested in the fitness aspect already. And, it was a way for me to kind of just share my life. And I'm not a natural writer. So by having that, schedule to follow, and I just wrote about it every week. I wrote about my meal plans. And that just, it allowed me to have a little bit of some structure around what I was going to write about. The other thing, and this kind of goes on more, no one was sharing my journey with other people. I don't think, I don't think that was as common. But the other thing I really focused on in the beginning was recipes. Because let's be honest, everyone's always looking for a new recipe. Breakfast, a new dinner, a new appetizer to take to a party, whatever it may be, people love new recipes. So I wrote a lot of recipes, and that is still to this day what gets the most traffic on my blog. The recipes that people look for, meal plans specific to the workout programs that I was following, those are things that people share and people want to look up, that they Google. So when you're writing your blog post, just think, is this something that's going to add value to someone? Is this something that someone else is going to want to share with others? So write content worth sharing. That was number one. Number two, consistency is more important than frequency. So, getting out there and writing a blog post every day for the next month would be wonderful, but can you keep that up? Like, could you really, if you're a teacher and you're off in the summer, and whether you have kids or don't, but you've got extra time and you think, I'm going to write all these blog posts over the summer. Is that realistic to think when fall comes, you're going to be able to still continue at that frequency of writing these blog posts? Probably not. So rather than trying to just, throw a whole lot out there, it'd be more valuable to be consistent with it. So a good analogy that they gave an example of was to think of your busiest time. When you're your busiest, what's the most that you can do? Is it 2 a week, 3 a week, whatever it may be, 1 a week? Let that be your consistency. If you end up with a bonus blog post 1 week, so be it. But, if people start to know that you are going to share your journey on Sunday for the new week, or your meal plan for the new week, and that every Wednesday is a new recipe, like, they'll start to look for that stuff. And that consistency is more important. And I will say with your blog, it's one of those that, like, you invest your time now and it's going to continue to pay off as you, go through life. So, while you might be writing a little bit more now, you can sometimes drop down the frequency of your blog posts in a year or two, because your information's already out there. Your recipes that you've been writing for the last 2 years are out there. But it's important to be consistent with whatever frequency amount you want to set. Number three, get a domain name. So I know when I started, mine was meganblinka.wordpress.com. It's long, it's lengthy, and it's more than it needs to be. Easier to say meganblinka.com. That's what my Instagram is, Megan Blinka. My Facebook name is straight up Megan Blinka. My email address is meganblinka@gmail.com, and my blog address is meganblinka.com. Now, if you have a super common name, chances are your name may already be taken, and that's okay. You can make it, Megan Blinka Fitness, or there's different, I have a .com, but I think there's actually like .fitness, and there's other things that you can use. And I highly suggest you just go through GoDaddy. It's not expensive. I think I bought like a 3-year, I don't know if it's a subscription, but 3-year rights to meganblinka.com. It's like $40 for 3 years. So what, $13 a year? It's not a lot, and it's so much easier when someone's trying to think, oh, I know she has a blog. What is it? It's meganblinka.com. Search your name. It comes up. So get a domain name, make that small investment, and then, put the kind of rolls into number 4, which is include your blog address everywhere. So when once you've established what this blog address is going to be, when you're putting your content out there on social media, you want to draw people back to your blog. Your blog is a perfect home base for your life, your coaching opportunity posts, your challenge group opportunity posts, like all those things that you're posting about, you draw that together on your blog. So you want to keep that address everywhere so that people know where they can find you. Put it on the corner of images. I don't usually slather it across the front, but I kind of hide it in little areas so that people know, that's my blog address. And if they see it enough times, they're going to know if they have a question, if they're looking for something I've done or shared in the past, type that address in. So include your address everywhere. If you have business cards, make sure your blog address is on your business cards. If I always like to, if I'm going to a party, I take a recipe that's on my blog. That way when somebody asks, I can say, oh, it's up on my blog. Easy breezy. So make sure you're sharing that. The number 5 is make it easy to subscribe. So you should have a little icon somewhere where people can subscribe to get updates. And it's either, you can do it as like a weekly update usually, or you can do it that every time you do a blog post, somebody gets an update. So I won't say I have a ton of subscribers. I have 30 some people who subscribe. But when I read through the list of them, I don't know them all. It gives me another way to reach out and add people on Facebook, add people as contacts or email address, and follow their blogs too. So just make sure there's a place that somebody can subscribe to your blog so they can continue to follow you if they like the content that you're getting. Number 6 is SEO, which is search engine optimization. Now, I will say I have not installed this yet, but from what I understand, it's a plugin that you'll just install, very easy to do, that it's simple to follow, all-in-one SEO, search engine optimization. But what this does is it allows you to put in certain keywords. So when you think about you do a Google search and you're looking for best 21-day fix recipes, if your blog is not common or hasn't been out there long enough, you're probably on page 95 of 21-day fix recipes. But most people don't scroll past the first, maybe second page. So how can you get your information to pull up to the top of this, search engine when somebody Googles whatever topic you're looking for? This SEO, this search engine optimization plugin, is a tool that will help you get your blog more views and to come up more in the search engine. So once I do it, I will share with you a little bit more that I learned about it, but I wanted to include that now, even though I didn't do it yet, just so that you're aware that it's out there. Number 7 is utilize social media. So, you can write this awesome blog post, but if you don't talk about it, the 30 people I have subscribed to my blog may be the only people that see it. So how else do you get your blog posts out there? Utilize your other forms of social media. So obviously you can copy paste your link to your Facebook page. You can copy paste it to a like page as well. And if you're using Instagram, you can still share it by using an image that's in your blog post and refer back to your blog address. New blog post, new post up on the blog. And I do that with my recipes. If I share a new recipe, I'll first share the actual recipe, a picture of the food and say, new recipe coming to the blog tomorrow, which kind of so people see it and they want it and then they know they can go back tomorrow, or I'll share the link then when it actually does come out. So those are the main things. And then once you have your blog, you can pin to Pinterest, which I think is a huge tool and a lot of potential and opportunities. I know more recently a lot of people who have been contacting me, they have found me through Pinterest, through pins. And I try to keep a variety of pins, whether it's, I may include a recipe, but within that recipe, I may include another picture that may not be exactly that recipe, but something else that I can pin, not just one image, but the more images you get out there, the more potential you have to drop traffic back to your blog. So, pinning to Pinterest, make sure you have it's pin it button, Google it, how to install pin it button. It's super easy to do if you don't already, but make sure you're pinning whatever images you have to your Pinterest account. Number 8 is engage in conversation. So when somebody comments on something, you want to make sure you're commenting back to them. And I try to make do on all forms of social media, not just your blog. Somebody leaves a comment on your blog, yes, you want to get back to them, but keep that tip in mind for anything. When somebody comments on a post of yours, acknowledge it. Like, yes, you can like it, but if you can comment something back, just thank you. For one, it's going to draw your traffic up on that particular post. If you're on Instagram, it allows those other people to know that you're a real person. You're reading their comments, even if it is just good job or congratulations, whatever it is. You want to acknowledge that conversation and provide that, kind of response back to people who are engaging with your posts. Number 9 is comment on other blogs. So there's another way, it's kind of like, it makes me think of like, when you're driving, in my town, if somebody had a Jeep and you were in a Jeep, you would wave to them. It was like the courtesy Jeep wave. I don't know, maybe that's not a normal thing. But anyways, it makes me think of that. Comment on other people's blog. The more you comment on theirs, chances are they're going to comment back on yours. So when somebody shares a blog post that you feel is valuable, share, comment back to, try to kind of support one another. I feel like it's that, that will draw your traffic up, their traffic up, and you can essentially kind of work together. And oh goodness, I noticed I have a typo on my little picture I made for you guys. But number 10 is write guest posts for bloggers. So this is, I don't know if you've been writing your blog for a while, you may have got, I get random emails. Some of them have no connection to me and my values and my goals and my priorities, and I don't do them. But I got one once that was for a health insurance company in New York that wanted me to write about, tools that I use throughout my health and fitness. To me, that one was like, okay, I can write this blog post, I can share it with you, and they were sharing my blog out to their customers. So it's just, again, some of them may not be, you may not see it the benefit right now, but if you can write these blog posts for other people, it really does get your name out there and show that, there is more to you than just, your coaching opportunities. And it draws the awareness to you. So I hope that you found those tips helpful. I will share, I made a little graphic for you all. Ignore the spelling mistake. There's a typo at the end. We'll see who can find it. But wanted you guys just to see what I gained from that. And at the bottom, I put the guy's name for who I got the podcast from. And if you want to follow him, he also has a newsletter. I actually subscribed to it when I was reading this podcast because I liked it. I thought he had valuable content. And it was short, so it's kind of one of those things you can kind of listen as you're in the car or doing something like that. So hope you find it helpful. Have a wonderful day.